Today on the Charge Up, we'll recap women's basketball's impressive victory to open the season, football's huge win over Assumption, and Cameron Haley returns to recap the men's and women's soccer seasons. Grab a seat and stick around. The Charge Up starts now. Hey everyone, welcome into this week's edition of The Charge Up. I'm Gio Gomez, and with me as always is Deshanae Andrews, and coming back, Lindsay Miller. How have you been?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here so I can make fun of your bold prediction from last week because he finally got it wrong.
That was not mine, that was Zach's, but
Wow. No.
We'll get there. We will get there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We should save it for the
post
show.
Well, yeah, how'd you guys been?
I mean, it's cold, but we brought in a lot of wins, so it's worth it.
Definitely.
That's good. It is Christmas outside. That is pretty great.
It's not even Thanksgiving yet. Please don't rush the seasons.
All right, let's just get to sports. Football pulled off the upset Saturday, taking down the top seed in the Northeast 10 Assumption College, 34-33 in the Chargers' final road contest of the regular season. With the win, the Chargers are now 5-2 in conference play with one more game left in 2019. What did you see from the team Saturday, and what needs to carry over to this weekend to pull out another victory?
I saw a lot of great plays when it came to offense. For example, like Zaire Fernandez, he had his first reception of his career for a 27-yard touchdown in the remaining 28 seconds of the game. It couldn't have came at a more perfect time.
And that's something that we've been talking about is their performance in the fourth quarter and their performance later in the game. So the fact that they were able to score 20 points alone in the fourth quarter really says something about their efforts to fix that.
I saw a lot of positives and negatives. For the first half of the game, they weren't finishing drives well. They were down by 19-7 by the halftime. They weren't finishing drives, and the run game, obviously, with Christian Lupoli having such a big game, that also means that the run game wasn't doing so well. So while he had an amazing game and he was hot, you shouldn't have to put the entire game on the quarterback's back. It was lucky enough that he played well and did great, but hopefully this next game, the run game will show up and they can control the clock more.
I agree, but just keeping that energy for the entire game, as far as they did have a rough start, but then to keep going even in the last minute of the game, because sometimes in the last minute, it could be really hard when you're down to be like, okay, we're going to win this game, but to keep that momentum going, to still even score a touchdown in the last 30 seconds shows that they still put that effort in there, so.
And Juwan Williams had 2 touchdowns and 6 receptions, so him being able to step up for his team and make plays to help them stay in the game and help them not fall too far behind has been a really big presence for them.
And with not giving up or staying in the end of the game, there was a point where they went for it on 4th and 2, and I really respected that decision because it was a close game. Like I said earlier, they weren't finishing a lot of drives, they weren't scoring a lot of points, and Lupoli was hot that game. He had 319 yards, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and I was 14 for 27, I think, in terms of completion. He was on fire that game. So when it's 4th and 2 and you're not scoring a lot and you want to go for the win, you give it to the hot hand, and that's what they did, and they scored off of that. And not to mention, Assumption scored the next 2 drives after that, so they needed those points down the stretch.
It was a very, very close game, so I'm glad they came through.
Me too.
Well, football will take to the field at Del Camera Stadium one last time in 2019 Saturday when they host Stonehill at 1 p.m. With a win and a Bentley loss to American International, New Haven would claim the title of NE10 champions for the first time since 2012. Volleyball took a straight set victory over Stonehill College on Saturday as the team improves to 15-8 overall and 8-3 in conference play thus far. With just 2 games left on the docket, the team currently sits in 4th place in the conference standings. But will still have to play Bentley University, the top team in NE10, this Thursday. With a lot of movement still possible before the conference playoffs begin, how can the Chargers ensure a strong finish to the season?
Well, I definitely think that it was great. This three-set sweep was the third time this season that the Chargers has swept a conference opponent. So just to show like that they've been keeping this same momentum the entire conference, I think they just need to keep with the team chemistry and just keep going.
And the fact that they've been able to sweep 3 conference opponents is even more important because those are the people that they're going to be seeing in the playoffs, and they're going to see them like later on down the road and stuff like that.
A big thing that they shouldn't do is look past their opponent tonight, because Bentley's going to be a huge game for them. Top team in the division. They need to win their next 2 games if they want to move up in the standings. And they're playing hot. They're focused on playing the top team. You don't want to look past your opponent tonight. They might be lower on the standings, but if you look past them and you let them take advantage, then that kind of ruins their playoff plans. They'll still make it, but they won't make it as high as they hope.
Other than last week when they lost to Southern, they've been on a win streak, so I think that they can really keep going. I think they're here, and I think they're ready for it.
I'd also say with a Bentley loss, that's not a bad thing, I'd say. Well, because Bentley is the top team right now. They're the top in the standings. So if they play them and they play them close and competitive and they still lose, you could take that as a win, because now you know that you're that much closer to the top seed.
Yes, but if they win, that would be even better than a close call. Like,
oh no, I think they're gonna win. And
okay.
we'll get to that more predictions later. But I'm just saying that even if they do lose, it could like, for example, as a Pats fan, when they had their undefeated season, they played the Giants in the last game of the season, and they won. But then in the Super Bowl, they played the Giants again, and that win that they had earlier in the season was really close, and the Giants had enough confidence and
to
knew
play that other team.
Yeah,
I got you.
So I'm saying that even if they lose to Bentley in this game, it's not the end of the world. I think that if they play them as well as they've been playing and still come up a little short, it'll give them that chip on their shoulder.
Not to mention the fact that Bentley is ranked 1st in the conference and New Haven's not ranked until 4th. If they lose this game, it's really not going to hurt too much of their standings. They should be okay.
I definitely think they will win, though. I think they're really good when it comes to sharing the wealth on this team. I think that this team is not carried by 1 player or 2 players. It definitely is spread out among the team, so I'm ready to see them play.
It's looking like a very special season. So volleyball will play their final game of the regular season at Charger Gymnasium Tuesday when they host Assumption College. First serve is scheduled for 7 p.m. Women's basketball took a 68-57 victory over the College of Staten Island Saturday as they improved to 1-0 on the year. With the team having to replace a number of seniors, who did you see in this one that could be a key player for the Chargers as we get deeper into the season?
Well, they have 7 new freshmen this year, so that's big for them. A lot of players learning the new game. However, they did have 1 freshman, Aurora Deschenais. She scored 20 points, and she was a huge player for them all game. She was relentless. She went to the free throw lines multiple times, so that was really big for them, and it really helped them out, especially being in the 3rd quarter.
I think as far as having all these new players, it didn't affect them this game. And this is the first game and the 3rd season in a row that they won their home opener. But even having these 7 new freshmen, the freshmen and the seniors both put points on the board. So they're already responding nice to these new faces. Like, it's still working out for them.
Yeah, they didn't miss a beat. At first, they were playing a little sloppy in the beginning, but it's the first game of the season. And like you said, 7 new freshmen. It takes a while to adjust. But even when they were playing sloppy, they were still shooting 50%, and they were still competitive and keeping. And it was like a back and forth game for the first half. But the fact that they just shut them out in the 3rd quarter, that's huge for any basketball game. It's always because a lot of these games get really close, and it's a lot of shooting back and forth. So if you can suffocate them for any quarter, especially the 3rd, right before the 4th, they kept them to what? It was a 24-7 run. That's pretty impressive, especially like you said for 7 freshmen. So they can only look to build up from here.
Right. I definitely think that going forward as a team, they're only going to get better while their freshman is growing with their older players, since they already are doing so well.
Being that there are that many freshmen, the fact that the freshmen are getting playing time, and that's not often common, that means that they have a deep bench, so that'll really help them as they get further into the season and injuries and other issues start to occur.
Yeah, deep bench is very important for later in the season. So women's basketball will return to the hardwood Saturday when they host the University of Bridgeport at Charger Gymnasium. Tip-off in this one is set for 6:30 p.m. Both the men's and women's soccer teams wrapped up the 2019 season last week. Here with a recap of their seasons is Cameron Haley in Cam's Corner.
Thanks, Gio. We start with the men's squad, who closed the year with 2-0 victory over Bentley University Wednesday at home, and it was arguably one of the most complete games the Chargers have played all season. Under first-year head coach Brian Quinn, the team earned one more victory than they did in 2018, ending the year with a record of 5-10-1 overall, going 3-8-1 in the NE10, defending the home turf well, with all 5 wins coming at Kathy Zolad Stadium. After earning 2 wins in their first 3 matches, the Chargers fell into a rut, going winless of the next 5, before taking down Southern Connecticut State for the first time in 35 years on October 9th, 2-0. The team then went on to lose 5 of its next 6, ending the year with the win over Bentley. The team will depart 5 seniors, including senior goalkeeper Stefano LaRusso. We'll see who will fill those voids in 2020. As for the women's side, the team fell in the season finale, 2-1 to the 11th ranked College of St. Rose on November 5th. With the loss, the Chargers ended the season with an overall record of 4-11-2, going 3-9-1 in conference play, failing to make the playoffs for the 4th straight year under 10th-year head coach Laura Duncan. The team earned just 1 win in its first 7 games before taking down St. Michael's College 1-0 on September 28th, the first NE10 victory for the team in almost 2 years. The Chargers lost the next 3 matches before earning back-to-back wins against Franklin Pierce and Lemoyne in mid-October. New Haven closed the year winless in the last 4. Women's soccer loses 6 players to graduation, including a number of defensive players. Both the men's and women's teams will look to make improvements in 2020, with both sides on the outside looking in on another playoff tournament. That's all for Cam's Corner. I'm Cameron Haley, and back to you.
It's now time for bold predictions. Let's go through last week's predictions. Lindsay, how'd you do? Or how did Zach do? It's your
Well,
pick now.
since I wasn't here last week, my friend Zach came and he did this for me. So he predicted that the women's basketball team would beat CSI by 15 points and that Cameron Du Bois would have 20 points. The basketball team won by 11 points. Cameron Du Bois had 9.
Oh, you're wrong.
I don't know that I taken a loss for this one because this was not my decision.
Well,
I'm going to stay out of this.
it wasn't your decision, but we can decide the loss is yours. I think that's fair.
I think it's Zach's loss.
Well, you know
I
what?
feel like that's up for debate. But I did really well. I predicted that football would beat Assumption 27-21, and they did even better than that with 34-33. So I'm gonna take that win.
Technically, it's wrong, both of you. I mean, you're a little off.
Yeah, what was yours?
No.
You know.
Let's hear it.
Okay, fine. If we're gonna do halves, then I'll take a halves because I said that
I'm
both
taking
men
my whole
and
point.
women's soccer would win, and men's soccer got the dub. So I mean, if you're gonna say yours was right, I'm gonna.
I
say
didn't
that
say mine was right. I just said I'm not taking the loss for that because that's Zach's loss and
You
he
can
own
take
it.
half a point. I will
I'll
take my
gladly
whole
take half a
point.
point.
Lindsay's point is up for a decision this week.
Well, if you're so, you know what? What do you decide this week then? What's your big bold prediction?
All right, this week I predict that football will beat Stonehill again for the second time this season. I think that they're going to win 21-7. I think that Juwan Williams is going to come into the game. He's going to have 1 touchdown and he's going to have 4 receptions. If they're able to beat Stonehill, they'll be able to remain undefeated at home this season.
Okay.
I like that one.
How about you?
So we may not have talked about it, but the men's basketball has their season opener at Concordia on Monday. So I predict that they're going to win by 12 points and Kelsey Felizor is going to finish with a double-double. I think that's pretty bold on my part.
Okay. Well, I hope both of you are wrong, as always. As always.
It always ends up right for us and wrong for you,
I don't know about you
though.
those last 2 weeks, though.
How about yours?
Okay.
Let's see if
You
you're
know what?
safe.
Oh,
this
safe.
week again.
Safe. I'm not picking football all the time. But for mine, I'm going bold. I'm going to say that volleyball will win a 3-set sweep against Bentley. And Callie Greathead will have 15 kills because she performed great that last win.
She
and
did.
she's feeling hot. And I just think that our team is going to shove freaking Bentley right down and spike him in the ground.
You know what? I like your optimism, and I would really like to see them have another sweep for this season. So I'm going to agree with you, but I do hope that you lose.
I'm going to count that as you being nice to me. So that's a wrap on the show for this week. Check out newhavenchargers.com for the most up-to-date information on your favorite teams. And for all your on-campus news, log on to chargerbulletin.com.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Deshana Andrews.
And I'm Gio Gomez, and we'll see you all next week on
The Charge Up.